though. It's your boy Tom. I wanted to clear some things up. Don't mind my hair. I'm about to go to bed soon. But I wanted to clear some things up on my Don't Move to Atlanta. I made that video like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. And I was living in Atlanta like 15 years prior to that. So I made that, about Atlanta when I was living down there a long time ago. It wasn't in the 80s. I think somebody commented and said, was talking about the 80s. It wasn't in the 80s. It was, let's see, so around 2000, 2000 something. So that's when I lived in Atlanta. People were talking about the car situation. I didn't want a vehicle. I didn't want to buy a vehicle. So I was okay riding my bike, being on the bus. I had a good program. I worked for a temporary service that held down both my jobs, though. So once I ran afoul at the one job, both my jobs were gone. And all I did was work. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to work and see my little girl, but that didn't work out. So I called a friend and she came and got me. And I got up out of there because I didn't have any money after I lost both my jobs. And I had my own apartment. So people talk about cost of living. Cost of living at that time, my rent was $600, which is, like I said, it was a long time ago. It was 20 years or so ago. My cost of living was $600, and then gas, light, and all that other stuff. But the rent that I was paying here in Columbus, Ohio, before I went, it was like $250, $300. So, that's why I talked about the cost of living in Atlanta. And when I was talking about people being mean, I wasn't necessarily talking about all people in Atlanta are mean. But they have a different demeanor about them in Atlanta that it just, I don't know. It wasn't like the most friendliest. It was kind of like a skeptical thing about them. It was like, something's about to happen type of deal. I chatted up with a few people, but I'm one of them dude who doesn't like being in the mix. I'm not an aggressive type of dude. I just like to chill. I'm an easygoing dude, and when I feel like there's some type of tension, I don't really bode well with that because I don't like confrontation. And somebody asked about the black bandana I had in my back pocket. Why did you have that? So up here in Ohio, and I'm from Pittsburgh, and in Pittsburgh, while I was growing up, it was stylish to have like a bandana, that was the same color as your shoes or something. It was just like an extra piece of material that you would have. And this is long before these colors meant anything. So, I was just doing the same thing I was doing here. And, I just happened to have a black bandana hanging out in the back of my pocket and was walking through the mall. It was full of people. And the person who said something to me was a female. And she worked at like one of the shoe stores. So instead of just staying in the door, waiting for people to come in, the people that work in the shoe stores down there, they actually go out and talk to people in the crowd to get them to come in and buy shoes. It's an aggressive place. But as soon as she seen that bandana, she was like, okay, who are you affiliated with? And I was like, wait, what? I am not a gangster. Like I said in the video, I'm a square. I'm a whole civilian. So you're not getting none of that bang, bang, shoot 'em up out of me unless I have to, I ain't got no choice. But I'm not one of those dudes toting around. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking for people. I'm not associated with none of that. Of course I came from the hood, but I'm not a hood dude. I'm just not interested in nothing that they do. I don't understand their mentality, and I don't care to understand. So there's that. Let's see some other comments. Oh, about Yeah, I covered the whole car situation. And another thing, the jobs that I had, I worked at the hospital and I worked at the museum down there. All those are on the bus route. And everywhere I had, see, I lived in Decatur, so whenever I wanted to go somewhere to the mall, I lived literally right down the street from the mall. I could walk to the mall, but I had a bicycle. So I would just, ride my little, I'd ride my bike down there. The comic store was there, grocery shopping, everything. So I could just, pedal it up and get to where I wanted to go. And I really enjoyed it. When it was cold outside, I had a nice jacket to cover up, cover my face. When I needed to put my bike on the bus and go somewhere, that's what I did. And I really really enjoyed traveling like that. I just did. It was inexpensive. The only time I didn't enjoy it is when people would try to, I had one dude, I think he was gonna try to hit me while I was on my bike with his car, which made no sense whatsoever. Another thing, I didn't travel into a lot of dangerous areas. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just me. So I didn't walk up into a lot of hoods and try to assimilate, none of that. My mind was really focused just on what I was doing. I mean, the jobs that I had to wear suit and ties and stuff like that. So I wasn't really interested in the rah rah. I wasn't interested in the females. I went to the Velvet Room once. Um, the females that I dated came from Columbus, Ohio. So I had a couple of them. They would come down and see me, and we would just, go somewhere, have a great time. So my experience in Atlanta wasn't all bad. I never got in any fisticuffs. I never got robbed. Nobody has even came up to me and said something to me that was, out of the way, except for the job that I had. Those guys there, I don't know, they were Middle Eastern or something, but they tried to start something with me, and that's how I lost my job. They pretty much told a lie on me, and the black people that were running the whole situation, they didn't care. They was like, get rid of him, keep these other, two. So that's another thing. It wasn't like they protected me or anything. They were like, get rid of him. I said, okay, it is what I'm used to that. I'm used to, people turning on me. That's why I stay to myself now because I'm just used to it, and I'm sick of it, especially black people. I'm used to black people, treating me like trash. I'm used to it. Another thing is the underground. You hear a lot about the underground. I went to the underground. I did enjoy it there. I actually saw Q Sweat. So, like I said, I don't have a whole bad report about living in Atlanta during that time. But the unemployment was off the chain. Once I lost those jobs, it was most of the jobs that you were going to find down there. You're trying to look into. They have that paper with all the jobs. They had a job fair. That job fair, there were 5, 10,000. I mean, there were thousands. It was just ridiculous. People, and then there were only maybe 10 booths that were set up. We surrounded this one lady so bad her hand was shaking because she couldn't believe all the people that were surrounding her trying to get a job. It was a nightmare. And I mean, I had my Sunday best on. Everybody there was dressed to the nines, clean, resume. People were like, we need work. There was no work for us. There was just no work. I met a young lady down there. She was like, I want to be a cop. And the police told her, listen, if you try to be a cop in Atlanta, they're going to find you somewhere stinking. This is what a cop told her. You do not want to be a police officer. So when some people say, Atlanta's not what you say it is, I'm just like, you have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Some of the people that I did run into in the conversation that we did have is like, yo, there's a lot of crooked stuff down there. And I also told the story about how the police chief was killed by a guy who was running for police chief. There was a whole political thing, and he set the guy up. And when the police chief came home, these guys jumped out the bushes and blew him away. And they were trying to find out who did it. Well, it turned out that he was also banging his secretary. And the secretary told on him because they were just like, we know something's going on between you two. Well, he was married to another woman and he was knocking off the secretary on a regular. She turned on him. And it was in the paper. It was like, well, when they had her on the stand, she was like this. He did like this. And so, boom, that guy went to jail. Like, that is different. Okay, I never experienced that. And I was also talking about, when those kids tried to rob a gun store. Here's a situation when it comes to that gun store. I was just in that gun store. So I was gonna buy a 38. So I was just in that gun store, and I was looking around, and they sold food and stuff like that too, there too. So I was looking around, and here's this 6'4" white dude, behind the gun rack with a loaded. You know what I'm saying? He's got a loaded gun on him. And then there's other men in there, and of course, females, you know what I'm saying? But you know that they're all packing. And this is why I told the story of the kids coming in the gun store. It made no sense to me. And here's the thing. Here's the only thing I can get out of this. I think those kids knew that at least one person was going to be, with the business. And they was figuring, if I can take the one guy out, sorry, then everybody else will freeze. They'll give us the money. We can run outside. And, there was a little 17-year-old girl who was a driver. They were all underage. Well, of course, that didn't work out for them because they didn't count on all the other people in there having a weapon. You think that it's a gun store. You think one person had a weapon, just one? No, as big as that place is, it made no sense. Plus, the area that they were in, it's just like, no, it's not going to be one of us. It's going to be, a bunch of us that we're all ready for the business. And the thing about it is, this probably wasn't the first time they got robbed. They probably got robbed. There was probably one person who had a weapon. That person froze. And then, once people rob you, the word gets out, rob this place. And they were like, fine, we're, all of you guys are going to all be registered weapon carriers. Somebody comes in here again, it's going to be a firefight. And that's exactly what happened. Those kids ran in there talking about some give up the money, and they got caught off guard because they didn't know that there was more than one person in there who was packing a pistol. And, they drew on them. You know what I'm saying? Even if there's two of you and somebody's watching your six, if there's 8 people in there all packing and they don't want to give up anything, one of you guys, you're finished. And so that's why I talked about that story, because it was right down the street from me. And I had been in that store before. I knew exactly the layout, the whole nine, and I was familiar with that place. And it just amazed me that they tried to rob that very store. And then I saw it on the news, and I was like, I was just there, like, this can't be life. Like, why would you rob these people? And then you came in there with two, it's just two of you. That's another thing. Listen, it just wasn't a well thought out plan. It really wasn't. But they tried it. Them white folks killed one of them and they wounded the other. So they shot 2 kids, and one of them made it to the hospital and the other one died. And the little girl, she's an accessory. So I don't know if they're still in. That was 20 years ago. I don't know if they're the two survivors are still in. I don't know what happened to them. I didn't follow the story after that. But Atlanta is not the place you want to do jail time, especially state time. It's you don't want to play these games because you're going to run into a lot of people who are meaner than you are. You're not you're not that deal until you meet up with a bunch of people who are hungry, struggling, angry, and they're bigger than you. You're not that dude. You're not that female. You're not. That's not who you are. Because when you get behind them bars, it's just you and them, and there's going to be blood. So, and you're 17 years old. You went in there and tried to shoot out an adult. They probably sentenced them as a matter of fact. I don't know what the Georgia law is. Like I don't know what the age of consent in Georgia is, but I don't think it's 18. I don't think that you have to be 18 to be sentenced as an adult. So I mean, if they were sentenced as an adult at that young age, then they probably went in there and caught hands pretty good. So I just wanted to talk about that video. I wanted to make it straight because it's going viral now. There's like 3,700 people have seen it within the last couple days, and it had already went viral on my other channel. And I just wanted to clear up some things. I do not hate Atlanta. As a matter of fact, in a video, I talked about living on the outskirts of Atlanta, which I would still do because the weather is great if I could afford it. Yeah, there's just some there's some great things about Atlanta. If you can afford to live there, live there. It's a great territory. But living in the city is where you're going to catch you're going to catch some hell because the rent's going through the roof. And there's a lot of people who are transplants who moved into Atlanta, and they're not exactly there to make the place better. That's your biggest problem now. Plus, when it comes to sex, for those of you young people who are out there screwing everything that moves, there is a very high AIDS rate in Atlanta. And it's actually been noted by the CDC. So Atlanta is ground zero for, a lot of sexual transmitted diseases. So that's another thing that I had looked up about Atlanta. The unemployment, it's just a lot of stuff about Atlanta. If you're not ready for that type of action, then you might want to stay away from it because it's fast and it's furious, and you better be in competition mode. Now, if you're looking to, you're one of these movers and shakers, you're buying property and, you're doing a lot of, I don't know, you're making money on TikTok and YouTube and you're like a social media person and you're really doing good. You got people who are making $10,000 a month, and some people are making more than that. So if you need to be around a lot of people and need to be out and about, go to Atlanta. There's always somebody to talk to. There's the underground is always there. I had a great time traveling on the train at Five Points. I enjoyed that. I picked up a guitar. I seen a guy playing a guitar, and I was like, I want to know how to do that. So I taught myself how to play guitar because I watched a guy at Five Points get on our train and start strumming away, and people start giving him money. So I did that. So I taught myself how to play guitar. So I did enjoy that. I did enjoy some of the culture of Black people. I enjoyed that a lot. And another thing, somebody said I was dragging Tyler Perry. How Tyler Perry owns a $100 million mansion, and I rent a 2-bedroom townhouse. What are you? How am I dragging Tyler? I can't. It's not possible for me to drag Tyler Perry. All I said was Tyler Perry wasn't doing his thing when I was down there. But I think he was doing like Medea or something like that. But I don't watch Tyler Perry. I don't watch anything that he makes except the detective movie. He made a detective movie some years ago, and I really liked that movie. Excuse me. Other than that, I don't watch any Medea. I don't watch the Browns. I don't watch nothing Tyler Perry does. Um, I just don't. I'm just not one of those people who's a fan to watch, anything he does, unless it fits into a category that I liked. And I'm one of those didactic people. I like to think, I like to hear the scripture, and I like to try to figure stuff out. That whole thing. So the detective movie was great for me, but other than that, I'm not a fan of watching a man run around in a dress. I'm not. And Tyler Perry is one of the many people who have done this. And I don't really watch the stuff that they do either. I'm not going to look at that. There are some shows that, were on that I really like. The Doom Patrol. I really liked watching the Doom Patrol, but there was a guy running around in a dress, and I'm not with that program. So there's just some things that I don't want to let in my house, and but I never drag Tyler Perry. Do what you want to do. So I just wanted to make that clear. I don't have an issue with Tyler Perry at all. I don't know the man. He does what he does, and he does it well. You know. Let me see what else I want to address in there. I think that's it. I just want to address, some of the comments that you guys were leaving. I'm sure there's going to be more. I made like 27 videos talking about Atlanta. I broke it all the way down to, the bugs. Because they have a lot of water bugs, these big ass cockroaches, like, and big ass centipedes. Hi, I am late. About to watch now. Oh, well, welcome. I was just answering some of the comments that were left on the video. Some people kind of misconstrued some stuff I said because they're either Atlanteans or, a lot of times I get a lot of feedback from Black women that I really need to clarify, because Black women are triggered very, very easy. So sometimes I'm like, listen, sister, this is not what I meant. This is what I meant. It's one video starts a conversation, and then people have a bunch of opinions, and then I have to come in and say, no, sis, this is not what I meant. This is what I meant. You know what I mean? So you just got to come in and clean it up, because some people get offended when you talk about their city, but I talk about Ohio. I was born in Ohio. I was raised in Pittsburgh, PA. I talk about Pittsburgh and how I don't want to go back to Pittsburgh. Okay? Pittsburgh is, I was raised there, and I can't, okay, so the hood that I grew up in Pittsburgh is dilapidated. The project that I used to live in is tore down, and there's like a salt mine that they built over it. And it's right next to a steel mill. So that neighborhood is gone. It's completely gone. The corner store where we used to buy penny candy, gone. All 5 project buildings, there were 7 stories, and they were 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 apartments on each floor. All those families all dispersed, gone. So yeah, you know what I mean? Even the school that they went to gone. And the thing about it is, every now and then I would go down there, but I can't even go down there now. I would just go down there and sit and just think about all the memories of that place. But it's dangerous to go there because of the remnants that's left there, the people that are left there. And it's a place called Braddock, PA. So if you look up Braddock, PA, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the people that are left there, it's all gang territory now. So if you ride down there, do it at your own risk. So I don't risk that because I'm not a gangster. I'm not, and I'm only one person. I have no need to go down there, so I'm not dealing with that. So yeah, this part of my memory is gone. So I analyze every place that I've been to. And I tell you, listen, it's the pros and cons, even the places I've been through overseas. I've been to Germany, Spain, England, been to Canada, France. And every place I've been to, I've made videos about it. Listen, this is what I saw. This is what happened. That type of thing. So, yeah, Atlanteans are, they're sensitive about their spot because it's their spot. And I can't blame them. But you have to understand, I'm not talking bad about your city. I'm telling you that if you can't afford to live in Atlanta, don't go there. Atlanta is not the place where you want to be stuck. You feel me? It's not the place. It's not the place where you want to run out of money. So you hear about people going there, down there for All-Star Weekend and getting stuck. Yeah, that's not the place you want to get stuck at. It's just not. It's not a spot where you think you're going to get premium, attention and be well taken care of. It's just not. Now, if you go up into Buckhead and stuff like that, going up into Buckhead because I wanted to I wanted to chill with the rich people. I wanted to see even though I didn't have no money, I wanted to go up into their mall. So I went up in the Buckhead Mall, and the white people that work in these places, they don't, when they see you, and this isn't a lot of places, they do this here too. They don't look at you and ask you, can they help you? They just, when they see you, they just talk amongst themselves. And they glance over at you every now and then. And it's just a whole different type of, I don't know if you would call that, I don't know if that's being racist, but they probably think, why waste my time? Because I don't think you can afford a $250, button-down Tommy Hilfiger shirt. And I couldn't. So they didn't waste their time talking to me, because once I looked at those prices, I was like, absolutely not. But I wanted to experience that. So I walked into the store, and they looked at me, I looked at them. What they didn't do was follow me around. So they didn't make it seem like you're here to steal. You know what I'm saying? But they can pretty much look you up and down and tell you're in the wrong part of town. So you will feel that. Now, when I went to the Decatur Mall, completely different. Completely different. They're gonna talk to you as soon as you hit the door. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because Black people got a little bit more attitude about what they do, but nonetheless, that's how they give you good service. The white people got an attitude, but they don't give you no service. And that's the huge difference you're going to see when you go into these different areas. Brother's going to see you, yo, what's up, man? What you looking for today? You walk into that shoe store or whatever, you tell them, shoot, I'm just looking, all right, let me know if you need something. and they roll out. The white people will look at you, won't say nothing. They'll just keep going on about their way. Won't say a word to you, look you right in the eye. Won't say hello, no nothing. And the same, like I said, the same thing happens here. There's a rich area here, and I walked into North Face. And, they got $300-400 jackets, North Face jackets. I walk in there, they just looked at me and kept on going about their business. And I wasn't even offended because I know that they think that I can't buy a North Face jacket, which I can. I can afford one. That's not a huge deal to me. I just don't buy stuff like that, not unless I need it. If I'm getting ready to hit the great outdoors and I need a North Face jacket, a $600 North Face jacket, this is detrimental to me, then I'll buy it. But I don't buy stuff like that for fashion. I don't care about fashion. I just don't. So I'm just saying there are some, when you go to different cities, you experience, some things will always be the same and some things are just different. So for you people who, live in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. I also talked about the women in Atlanta. I don't know how many people on here are females. I don't know where you guys live. So, if you think that I'm saying something wrong, you can put it in the chat and I'll clarify it. When I was talking about the women in Atlanta, I have never seen so many beautiful women in one place. I was in my 30s. So, I was still hot in the pants. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I like to. But the thing about it is, in Atlanta, I really didn't look at none of those women and go, yeah, I want to, pursue a relationship. I saw one girl, I like dark skinned women. So I saw one girl every time I go into the mall, she worked, in the store that you had to walk through to get in the door. And I flirted with her a lot and was trying to get in her pants. But she played the game like she was hot tamale. And she just kept playing with me until I finally had enough. And then when I go into the store, I just walk right past her like I've never seen her. Because I don't do that. There are way too many of you for me to waste my time. There are just way too many women in Atlanta, and a lot of them are single. And they're of every nationality. As soon as you touch down at the airport, you're going to see it. And it's mind-blowing to most men who just don't see that often. And I'm talking about women that are straight out of magazines of models, big booties, titties, just everything. And you're like why? Why are there so many beautiful women here? And this is before all the, the women are actually men type thing. This is when women were women. And another thing, I'm going to tell you something what's surprising is the good-looking women were easier to talk to than the average chicks. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, wait a minute. See, there's something going on in Atlanta where, okay, so in Atlanta and in some other major cities, but especially Atlanta, you got Chocolate City. I went there. It's a small place. But you have the stigma of Atlanta is women are good looking here. But the problem is there are so many good looking women that they're so good. There's so much competition in Atlanta on a lot of scales. But when it comes to females, there's so much competition that they realize that we're not going to all have a man. It's not it's impossible for every woman in Atlanta to have a man. It is impossible. And the thing about Atlanta is it has so many black schools, HBCUs, they're attracting more transplants. And a lot of these young ladies they're just really good looking women, but they don't realize that once they get in Atlanta, dating for them is going to be nil. You can get screwed, but you're not going to find a good man. The chances of that, the chances of you finding a good man, just you, just loyal to you, just your man in Atlanta or just anywhere plummets once you come into the city limits of Atlanta. It just dives. And this is why when I was there, my whole mind was blown. I was like, wow, there's so many good looking women, but the thing is that you can talk to these women because you're thinking she's good looking, she's just going to blow me up. Guys, we always fear rejection. We always fear the walk of shame. Not one good looking woman I walked up to was like, I don't want to talk to you. Not one in Atlanta. Not one. And look at me. I'm an everyday average dude, but not one star that I talked to treated me like, get out of here. Some of those trans look and have way better body. Well, that's true. Yeah, man, a lot of people get fooled. But like I said, this was well before the trans boom. And another thing I covered in another video about Atlanta, I talked about gay people. And they talk about, well, if you are, if you go down there, I don't know what the slogan is, but they were talking about, the men down there and how aggressive they are as far as homosexuality is concerned. Well, if you look at the CDC, I referenced the CDC, and a lot of other medical statistical elements because for those of you who don't know, I have a degree in healthcare administration. And so statistics and numbers is kind of like I like to reference those. I like to reference World Health Organizations. And when I was studying healthcare, I always like to see what ground zero was. I always like to see where something's emanating from and or where it lands and then it populates, and why it's populating, amongst who and, how fast and all these other things. In Atlanta, there is like when I was down there, of course there were homosexuals there, but I never got approached by one. They didn't come out of the woodworks and like it was Sodom and Gomorrah, But nowadays it's a lot worse. Like you were saying, you don't know who has a ding-a-ling and who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you're talking to. But down there, it wasn't something that I thought about. Now, I had already heard the rumors about Atlanta being that way because I had a friend who I knew from Ohio, and he moved to Atlanta. And when he did that, he came down to Atlanta and he caught AIDS. And he was already on the alternative lifestyle. Although I kept trying to drag him over to dating women, he's a good looking guy. So I was like, man, let's go, date some females. But he just couldn't. He was like, listen, I've been exposed when I was young. Meaning he was having sex with, either boys or men when he was young. And so his whole mind and his spirit was conflicted because he loved the Lord, but he couldn't get away from his attraction to men. He couldn't, and I was trying to drag him and I just was like, you're a good looking guy, you got a job, you're a musician, you could have a good looking woman, but he couldn't get past it. And once he went to Atlanta and came back, he was 50 pounds lighter, almost didn't recognize him. And then shortly after that, it was another friend that I knew. It was his friend, but I knew of him. He saw me. He said, "Aren't you, so and so's friend?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "We buried him yesterday." And I was just in shock, And I was like, "How did he die?" And he said, "AIDS." And I kind of knew he was sick because of, he went to Atlanta, came back, and he dropped all that weight. And, he was sick and he passed on. Have you ever seen Walter Lee? Yeah. Walter, YouTube channel. Yeah, Walter Lee is a YouTuber, homosexual, lifts weights. And I used to listen to a few of his videos. I listened to Walter Lee before I knew that he was homosexual. And after I heard that, I just kind of like, well, I think, I don't really want to listen anymore. But he gave some, interesting details about Atlanta in his perspective, of Atlanta. He's a successful guy as far as I can tell. Has a couple Mercedes. But once I saw that he was of the alternative lifestyle, I said, well, okay, he's doing his thing. But the good thing about that is he can tell you the perspective as far as men dating men, which I'm not interested in. So he can give, somebody coming from another city some insight on, listen, if you're coming down here to date men, this is what it's the same thing I'm doing, and I want to hear from a man talking about, dating women. So, I get his angle. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're warning people, and then you're warning men. If you're coming down here to date men, you're going to run into, this, that, and other. The videos I watched on him he was talking about, I think he was talking about work or something like that, and he was just talking about, how his dislikes of the city itself. So I was really paying attention to what he's saying, so to see if it was in line with what I was saying. So yeah, Walter Lee, good on him. But and another thing is I didn't stay in Atlanta that long. Yeah, I didn't stay there for like 4 or 5 years. I was only there for a year plus, and like I said, I never got into any trouble. I never got in any fights. I never got into it with the police or anything like that. I was there for a short time. And as long as I had my jobs, I was doing fine. But when I lost those 2 jobs and then went job hunting, I realized how hard it is to live in Atlanta. I also realized that it just wasn't a place for me because I didn't really understand the people. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand how all these beautiful women are single. And then I asked the guy, I was like, how do you handle all these single, beautiful? He said, you choose one. You know what I mean? All these mixed cultures. It's just a lot of, it just hits you all at once. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to Ohio where it's slower, cost of living is less. You don't have to hustle as hard. You have to hustle in Atlanta. And it's best that you have your own business. It's best that you have your own business. If you got a woman, somebody's going to try to tag your woman. I was down there with a chick and a dude, saw us leaving. He told her, he was like, shoot, I've been trying to talk to you all night. You see me walking with her. So be ready for that energy, because they're bold. The men, if they like what you have, they're going to say something to you. And that's not cool. That's how fight starts. That's how people get shot, you know. But it wasn't my girl. It was just a chick I was down there with. I was like, hey, she wants, she want to talk to you. She started talking to him, and once she did that, it let me know that I have no future with you. So I was cool with it, because I was like, okay, I see how it is. And now that was pretty much that. She's fine. She's married to another guy, but nonetheless. So be ready for that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? For you guys who are looking to date, I mean, dating a woman in Atlanta, boy, you better be ready for anything. You better be ready. You better be ready. Finding somebody who's honest. Yeah, he moved to Atlanta 30 years ago. He was originally from, I think, Cleveland, Ohio, and Gary, Indiana. Yeah. Yeah, he has some good videos, He has some good, well-rounded videos. I just couldn't get past the homosexuality, so that was it for me, But when you head in that direction and start talking about those things, you lose me automatically. You lose me, you know what I'm saying? When you start talking about those things, and you still practice them. Now, if he was going to talk about them and that's what he used to do, I can understand that, because we all were into something that we, I used to date a bunch of women. I don't do that anymore. So, but yeah. So I just wanted to clear up some comments that people were, so they don't get it misconstrued. And like I said, this was a long time ago. Hell, my daughter was, when I was there, my daughter was, I don't know, she was 12 years old. I don't know, she was young. She's 27 now. 27 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my 50s, for those of you who don't know. I am a slow, chill type of dude. So I'm in my 50s, for those of you who don't know. May not look like it, but I'm in my mid 50s actually. So yeah. But that's my thing on Atlanta, and why I left Atlanta. It's warmer, the weather's nicer. Not far from the Carolinas, so you can just head right down to the Carolinas. That's beautiful. Head right down to the ocean. But like I said, if you get yourself a wife, or if you get yourself a woman down there, it's just hard. It's hard for me to believe that a female is going to be loyal in those areas. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it whatsoever. I've seen too much. I think loyalty is a thing of the past. And, when you look at the statistics of, marriage, divorce rate is off the chain. 80% of the time it's the female divorcing the male. 51% of the time it's the woman cheating on the man. And this is black. This is black people. It's not everybody else. It's just us. So, like I said, if you get down there and you think you found You think you found yourself one. I mean, I listen, guys, or women. You know, you looking for a good man. Like there's 4 people on here. I don't know if you're women or men, but if you can find somebody that's loyal to you, that's a big deal. But you go to, for the men to go down to Atlanta, you're gonna see some women. I mean, it hurt my feelings how good looking some of these women were. Um, I want to say this: Tyler Perry did have an audition I went to, and it wasn't an audition. It was a crowd a casting call. I think he wanted extras. It was for movie extras, and I like doing that type of thing. You don't really have a speaking role. You can just whatever they want you to stand here. So I like doing that type of thing. And I went down there. I went to the where they had he wanted featured extras. They had this group of women, all single when they had boyfriends. But they looked like the Dora Milaje, except some of them had hair. They were the most beautiful women I ever seen. It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad. We're just sitting there talking like it's nothing. I was like, is this life right now? How is it that these women are so gorgeous? Oh my God. And we're so nice, just friendly. And I said, this is unreal. Because up here, women that look like that are snooty patootie. But in Atlanta, the women that look like that are nice to you. But you can't trust them. You can't roll up on one and she's nice to you and you exchange numbers and you think you caught yourself a winner. You're going to find out very quickly that it's just not true. That's what hurts about it. That's what hurts about Atlanta when it comes to dating. You can get a banger. I'm talking about a girl out of Hotline Blink video. Like those girls were stunning. You can get a woman out of there and you will not get loyalty. And you're getting older. You're like, I want to get married. I want to have kids. You can forget it. Atlanta has become the LA of it sure is. Black Hollywood and people that was born and raised in Atlanta. It used to be that way. Oh my God. It's just unreal of the beauty that's there. But you're right. It's like it's in LA 10 is completely different than a Philadelphia 10. If you're in a Philadelphia 10 and you come to LA, you're in LA 6. Those are just the facts. It's just the facts. And this goes for most places in the country. If you're at 10 where you come from, you hit LA, they'll knock you down. And they don't chase you. And it's the same thing in Atlanta. Those men do not chase those females. You can tell who's not from there because they're all like, oh my God, look at all this ass. Oh, no. Those men don't do that. You do not see men chasing ass in Atlanta. You don't do it. I went to a club. I had to get a hotel because I was down there trying to visit my kid. And I went to this club that was near the hotel, and it was a naked woman's club. So you walk in there and there's these women that are walking around butt ass naked. I'm not talking about a G-string, nothing. There's nothing. They're completely naked, 100%, 100% naked. And they'll walk up to you, talk to you, and it's just like nothing. You're just sitting there having, you're, I'm looking like, I start talking to this woman like, why are you here? Like, you stunning. What are you doing here? Why are you running around naked, asshole out? And you're just beautiful. And that's because there's so many of them. The woman you think is beautiful that's every day. I mean, cornbread fed, just hot tomato, just unbelievable every day. That's everyday chick. Every day. I'm all stupid because I'm not used to seeing this. But she humbled me. She let me know real quick, like this. You see this all the time. You know what I'm saying? These girls, females running around like this. This is nothing. It's nothing for them to run around like that. So Atlanta's different, and I wasn't used to it. And I've been down there a lot. Through there, I had to come through JetBlue, or I get on the Greyhound and go down through there. Atlanta is a different speed. And for the women, you see what's gonna end. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna end up happening. The females are going to, once the females get out of college, and you're actually seeing this now. The females are going, dating here in Atlanta is trash. That's what they're doing. It's definitely a different speed. I am here for school, going on my 4th and last year. I'm ready to go. Khalid, so you're a female, so you're probably a black woman too. So you're who I'm talking about. And this is just what I was about to say. That comment is exactly what I was about to say. The females in Atlanta, once they graduate, they're going to be finished with Atlanta. And the thing about it is, it's almost going to be like you have to leave. You're going to have to leave if you want to successfully date. Because the market is flooded with very good-looking women that are not marrying the guys who they're dating. And because they're not marrying the men who they're dating, this means they're going from one guy to the other, which means the knee-jerk reaction of that is the men are saying, this is just natural. This is just natural. This is how we think. Well, if I had sex with this good-looking woman, she's not going to stay with me. And it wasn't hard for me to have sex with her. This means that there are a lot of other good-looking women I can have sex with. So why would I leave? This is a young man's thought. This is a young bull. 2022, young bull. Wake up with a stiffy every day. I'm going to see how many girls I can knock off. That's how we are. I'm going to knock this girl off. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to knock this girl off. At 5 o'clock, because the women they're not getting into relationships where they're requiring a man to stay. They're not making a man wait. They're like, I'm horny, give me the D. And they're not, you got to take me to a certain restaurant. It's none of that. It's give me the D, going about your business. Bam. So the guy's like, I can keep doing this until I want to have, a baby. And then that part kicks in where they're like, I'm just going to have a baby. Now I just got a baby mother. The thing about it is the baby mother is still continuing in the same behavior. Same thing, same thing. Now she's got 2 kids. Now she's got 3 kids. Now she's 40 years old and not married. And the guy, by the time he hits that age, he's probably married by now. And that's the cycle that Atlanta's in. So he said, yes, I'm a black female in my 20s. Yeah, you're who I'm talking about. I'm telling you your future if you stay in Atlanta. You don't got to believe me. All you got to do is look at the statistics. If you stay, Miss G, you will fall into this category. As soon as you graduate, you're going to look for a job if you're not already doing it. You're going to look at the job market and you're going to have high hopes for whatever your major is. You're going to do your internship. You're going to go to wherever this job is, and boom, you're going to get your experience. And they're going to say, yeah, as soon as you graduate, come in here. Boom, they're going to pay you your allotment for living, whatever amount that is. You guys are going to come to a contractual agreement. And what's actually happening to you is you are being placed in a category where the statistics are not in your favor for marriage. And it's beautiful until you wake up. You're 20 now, you have all your eggs. And listen, you can listen to a bunch of older women talk. The majority of the women you're going to listen to are not married. You can listen to an older man talk, and he's not married. It's going to be 2 different perspectives. But you should be listening to the man. And I'm going to tell you why. Because that man is going to tell you what he did when he was your age. And a woman's going to advise you on stuff that's probably not really going to help you, but the man is going to be like, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Because we don't really need to look out for your feelings. We don't know you. You know, we're never going to meet. You're not in our family. We're telling you what's going to happen, what you're going to be slapped in the face with, because the wall is undefeated and time waits for no man. This is what's going to happen to you. If it's not already happening, it's a good chance that, you know, you have some guy that you like. I mean, I already know the deal. You probably have a guy or 2 that you like down there. You might even be sexually connected with one guy, which means you guys have shared spirits. You might think that this guy is worth staying with. You know, you might even talk to him about it. And he might be tossing around the idea, you know, you're both in college, you're both seniors or whatever. You know, I think about it. But you guys are not official. But you're probably still, you know, because you're young and you're beautiful, so why not sleep together? You know, it is what it is. But the thing about it is, his clock and your clock is 2 different clocks. It's 2 different clocks. His eligibility and ability to get married is not the same as yours. It's not. Here's a real kick in the ass. You would have a better advantage if you didn't have a degree. That's the real kick in the ass. You'd have a better advantage on getting a husband if you didn't have a degree. You're probably like, how does that work? It's easy. Men are not really attracted to women who have careers. We're talking about successful men. Also, it'd probably be better for you not to even look in your age group. If you're 20, look at somebody who's 35, 40, and you're going, why would I get a man who's 40 years old? Because he's got money. He's established already. He's been on his job for 10, 15 years. If you have a child with a man who is your same age, that man is broke. And you're like, oh, he does social media. He blah, 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 blah. Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're 20, start looking at a man who's 35, 40. And don't think and listen to all these women, ooh, and all this. Don't listen to them. Because you'll be married and stay married. You'll be married and stay married, and all the women that are your age will just be out there having sex until, their eggs are gone. When you hit 40, you'll have 3 kids and a husband. When you hit 40, you'll have 3 kids and a husband. When they hit 40, they'll have 3 different baby daddies. There's a huge difference that'll be in your life and their life. Huge. Say, you're speaking the truth. Go by the Bible's teaching. Men are the head after Christ. No doubt. I follow any man. I won't follow any man blindly. Don't follow no man blindly. No, don't do that. But I know that to listen to exactly in Christ, it's better for me. Yeah. I'm telling you the truth. A 20-year-old woman who doesn't have a degree is more attractive than a 20-year-old woman with a degree. Why? Because we don't care about your degree. We don't give a damn about what we don't care. This is why the chick that works at Starbucks will get married up faster than the chick who's got this whole career going. Because we can't pull you out of your career. We can't walk up to you and you're a successful, whatever it is, I don't know, whatever you want to be, dentist or dentist assistant or, RNA, CNA, whatever it is. We can't roll up on you and, you have a nursing degree, you're making almost $100,000. You're moonlighting. You're doing it. You're working your ass off, though. You're pulling 312s. Oh, I know the deal. You're knocking off 312s. You're coming home exhausted. Just dead in the water. As soon as you get home, just falling right out on the couch. You don't even make it to the bed. We're not attracted to that. What are we going to do with that? But if you have a man who's already, got his money, got his act together, he can afford you. You want to work, fine. You can work, but you're not going to work a lot. So your job is here. Your job is you have these babies. Your job is the house. And trust me, that's enough work. And him. That's what you're here for. That's your job. And a lot of women are, no, down with the patriarchy. Fine, down with the patriarchy. Don't do it. You'll be a spinster. If you don't know the statistics in America on spinsters, it's bad. As a matter of fact, all over the planet. Yeah, it's bad. I can just give you some statistics on single women. Let's take Russia, 10 million. 10 million women are single in Russia. This is 10 million eligible. This is 18 and up. 10 million. In India, 70 million. And we're not even going to go to Africa. It's bad all over the planet. And when you get women that are talking about down with the patriarchy, we're not going to do it. We're stronger than you are. We're going, fine. We'll take a chick from India. Because if you haven't noticed, the women from India got the memo. They're dating black men now. There's a combination I never thought I'd see, but it's happening right now because they're like, if you don't want them, we'll take them. And shoot, Raji, she will bring her hot ass right over here. She'll snatch the old boy up, and he'll have a red dot right here. That's happening right now because they can't find a man because there's not enough of them. So we're throwing away men, and they're like, "Who's throwing away men?" Oh hell no! I'll take some of that. Oh your man ain't no good. Your man is dusty. Your man doesn't make enough. Your man is this. Your man is that. Your man needs to make $100,000 for you. You're just tossing this dude in jail for nothing. We'll take him. You're cheating on your man. You're setting him up to get killed. You're setting him up to get beat up. You're bad mouthing him every 5 minutes. You're laughing at him. You're not keeping your body clean. You don't know how to cook a damn ham sandwich. You don't want to keep the babies clean. You're just loud and boisterous. You want to put your hands on them. You want to call your girlfriends to come over and put your hands on them. You want to destroy his automobile. You want to burn his clothes. We'll take them. The majority of men that are in jail are black. What do you think they're in jail for? Some type of DV. Some woman put them in there. Child support, all that. And now there's a growing statistic of women who not only can't find a man, the men don't even want to sleep with them. Now you have the men that won't give up their seed. It's a whole movement. It's on YouTube. You hear guys talking about No Nut November. They're talking about men have nut retention. You know how vital that is? These are black men who are saying No Nut November, have nut retention, keep it to yourself. Do you understand the implications behind this? You're talking about a population drop. Boom. In black on black. That's what's happening right now because of all of the hell that we've put each other through. And it's gotten so blown out of proportion that you have just a large group of men who have just given up. Then you have the passport bros. Then you got the men who don't respect you at all. They just want the ass. It's just, and some man somewhere is falling into these categories. And you got these men are saying, I'm just going to go find me some loving somewhere else. I'm going to find me a wife. These are not gangsters. They don't have tattoos. If you look at the videos, you'll see these guys. They're good-looking guys. No tattoos. No gangster. They ain't walking around with their pants all down. None of that. These are just regular men. And these women from these other countries are all over them. All over them. And these aren't poor women. There's a lot of females in India who are highly educated. Asians too. There's a whole channel talking about how Asians from Japan want to be with black men. Those women aren't broke. They all work. They're like, we want a black man. Yeah, there's a lot of nationalities who are picking up your trash, and they listen. And listen, have you ever seen a commercial or an ad on YouTube saying, we want black men? Or have you ever seen an ad or a commercial on YouTube saying, or that shows black women saying, date us? Date us. Well, we're looking for this. Date us. This ad. You've never seen it? Well, for other countries, they have these ads. They have groups that you can go online and then you can go into these countries and then sit down and talk to these women. And they all come dressed up, smiling. They'll tell you their story. I got a baby. I used to be married, or blah, blah, blah. This is what they're doing to get a hold of a man. And black women aren't doing any of that. They're cursing men out for going to these other countries while Stella got her damn groove back. Black women been passporting and going and getting the D down in these other countries. Jamaica. I know 2 women who went to Jamaica, came back and got married to the dude. Y'all been doing it, but y'all busy calling black men all these names instead of getting together and going, if we don't fix this problem, we are going to be ass out. Nobody cares about your TikTok videos when you're doing shake dance. Nobody gives a damn because they're looking at you as a liability. You are a liability. You can't attract men with your shake dance anymore. Nobody wants what's between your legs because it's a detriment. All they look at is, you're going to put me in jail. You're going to take away my kids. You're going to take away my job. You're going to take away my car. You're going to take away all my finances. You're going to take away my freedom. You're going to take away my friends. You're a detriment. You are my enemy. This is what's happening. And the more you black women attack, the more men say, I'm not even going to get into this fight. That's what's happening right now, and you women aren't stopping it. But other countries have seen what you're doing, and they put up advertisements. Russia's got them. Asian countries have them. Date an Asian girl. Date a Russian girl. Come to the DR. See, y'all think passport bros are taking advantage of helpless women. No, they're calling us. They're like, how old are you? You're in your 50s? I'll take it. Here's one guy. His guy is like 60-something. 60-something. He went over there, and the thing about it is this guy had a stroke. So he's not even mobile. He can barely get up out of bed. You should see his wife. You should see his wife. Some beautiful, 25-year-old Taiwanese, up at the crack of dawn. He says the woman cleans so much, he doesn't even know what she's cleaning, most of the time. He says, I have no idea what she's cleaning. But he takes care of her, and if her family needs money, you know what I'm saying, he'll take care of that. But he could barely move. Do you think he has a ghost of a chance to get a black woman to be loyal to him and love? This woman loves this man. They've been married for a couple of years. Do you think a black woman's going to take on a 60-something-year-old man with a stroke who can't get out of bed? Do you know a black woman would run that dude clean into the wall? She'd kill him. She'd just wait for him to die. She wouldn't marry that dude. She'd cheat on him in front of his face and laugh at him and beat him up. That dude went to another country, found himself a wife, and he's a YouTuber. They're both on YouTube. He couldn't be more happier. He was like, I'm not going back to America. See, a lot of you women think passport bros are going over there, getting nookie, and then coming back. No, they're going to other countries and not coming back. You're losing them. They're not coming back. They're buying property, they're building houses in other countries, and they're not coming back. And here's a kick in the pants. Some of these countries, especially Thailand, a man can't own 51% of the property. So if he buys property, his wife owns the majority of the property. That way, no foreigner can come in to the country and buy up all their land. All the property stays in Thailand to Thai people. But you still have flocks of men going over there and going to the DR and going to all these other countries and saying, this is a better deal. Look. Where do you see men willingly signing over half of the majority of their property here in America? Like, yeah, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. No, they're not willingly doing it. The court system makes them do it. Over there, they're going over there knowing that they're going to sign over the majority of their property. And they're still going because that woman is taking care of him. The chances of me finding a woman like that here in America, I'm 54, 50, I'm almost 55. Next month, I'm 55. I don't make a lot of money. What chance do I have of finding a good black woman here? What are the chances of her not cheating on me, her being loyal to women? Slim and none. But if I catch a plane, start going back and forth and scoping to see what I like, and then find something half decent, the chances of me finding a wife is a lot better over there. You know, my problem is I love dark-skinned women. I love black women. I love dark-skinned black women. I can't help it. But I'm getting older. And if I don't want to die alone, I'm going to have to make a change. I can no longer wait on the woman of my dreams. She's not interested in me. I'm too old and I don't make enough money. So as time goes by, I am losing when it comes to the American woman. Plus, I'm an average looking guy. I don't have a lot of money. I'm average looking. And even if you do have a lot of money and you're good looking, women are still cheating on you. So, I don't know if Miss G is still here. One person's still here, but good luck to you, Miss G. Kalia, however you say your name. I'm hoping that you take my advice from a nappy head old man. Sink your teeth into a good relationship. Get yourself a cookbook. Yes, you're here. Yeah. It's pronounced Colleen. Okay, Colleen with Leah at the end. Let me hold on, Miss C. Colia. Kalia. Is that it? Kalia? Got you. You know, I was messing it up. I'm sorry, Miss C. I was like, ooh, maybe she's not here. Maybe I just messed up her name. Miss Carlia. But good stuff right there. Because I was, but like I said, I hope that you get yourself a good man. You know, it's nice if you got somebody your age, but that guy's broke. He's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. And there's nothing wrong with, letting the older Mac get a hold of you who's got his act together. Because, listen, women nest. Yeah, women nest. I mean, that's what you are. You're nesting. You find, and I'm gonna say this. This is always controversial, but I always like to mention this. This is why you have a lot of young girls chase older men. It's why you have a lot of 16-year-old girls who are running around with these, 30-year-old men. And a lot of women are, oh, he's sick. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's a good chance she tracked him down. 16-year-old girls are ready. And that may sound creepy to some people. You're like, oh, that doesn't sound, but you don't understand what I'm saying. When I say ready, I mean they're ready to have children. They're at the height of their puberty. All their systems are kicked in. So what do? They start, even if they don't have children, their body automatically says, look for a place to nest. I really enjoy talking to you. It's so, yeah, it is. And I'm glad you stayed around to listen. But that's what happens with, once, sometimes it happens earlier, but when they hit 15, 16, they're looking for a place to nest. And so if they're the man in their life, like if they're dads in their life and their uncles, they look at their dads and their uncles and they go, if their dads and uncles are good to them, they go, I want to find a man who emulates my dad and my uncles, a strong, wise. And so what happens, they start looking around at men who are in certain age brackets and they look at what those men have. This guy has a car, he has a job. They go ding, 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 ding. If I lay an egg here, that egg will grow. That's what's actually happening. A lot of these, young men are being tracked down by these, and also, these young girls in high school, they're realizing that there's just too many of them. Women don't wake up when they hit college and then, no, they understand the system real quick. They can look around their classrooms in the 10th grade and go, there are more females here than there are males. And it's just on from there. And they're very competitive. Females are competitive all the way down to an eyelash. And they think we're the more competitive ones. No, we don't look at other men like that. Females look at a female's everything. All the way down. Everything another female has, especially if she's a female that's getting attention. Another female is looking at her and going, why is she getting the attention and I'm not? And she will look her up and down, even if it's at a glance. She'll glance at her, boom, glance at her again, and her synapses are firing at, a million miles an hour, and looking at her makeup, looking at her hair, looking at the way she talks, looking at the way she stands, looking at what she has on, listening to deflection and addiction in her voice. It's all competitive. And so you have, females at a young age who are like, if I don't do something now, if I don't get on this path now, then it's going to be lights out for me. And so you have, like I said, some 25-year-old who's working somewhere, that girl's attracted to him. And then you're going, Well, he's wrong if he's attracted to her. It's just like, no, 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 no. If we go, back, you know, just within this century, that was actually the correct thing to do. Because let's say he's 25 years old, she's 16. For one, for one, she's at the age of consent in some parts of the country. Let's just throw that out there. Yeah, that was me in the comments. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so yeah, like I said, let's just say she's 16, he's 25. He works at, I don't know, a car shop or whatever that's in the area. She knows, he lives in the same area. She's looking at the boys who are her age, and she knows that these boys have no money. Then she looks at the 25-year-old who's hanging out with older men, and she sees that he's earning money. Who do you think has a better chance at a child surviving? A 16-year-old boy who has absolutely nothing, or a 25-year-old man? So their system kicks in and says, hey, I want to have a child. Even if they don't do it, every girl goes through the same thing. Boom, I'm ready to have a child. That's what their body tells them. Then they go and then of course you have society says, yes, do this. No, don't do that. Spiritual and all this other, in order for you to make up your mind if that's what you want to do. But this is the reason why you have this constant battle of an older man and the younger woman. It's because that younger woman has reached maturation, and that maturation starts dictating what she's going to do. Once she reaches the peak of her hormonal, height, she looks at everything different. When she's 10, she's not doing that. She's 10, she's playing. She's thinking about Christmas and Barbie dolls. And she just doesn't care about that. As soon as she hits maturation, it's a whole different thing. I'm just saying, because if the mother, knowing that this is what's going to happen, if the mother is going, I know you're going to hit maturation in between 14 and 16. I know this is going to happen. You have good men who's in your life. Your father's a good man. Your uncles, his friends are all good men. So you're going to be looking at men, older men. Now, if the mother goes, I'm going to teach you how to be a wife instead of just going out there and sleeping with people. Raise your hand if your mother said any of this to you. But it's a good chance that you females had the conversation when you hit maturation. When you hit the height of your puberty and you knew your body can have another body grow inside of it, this is well before you walked out of high school. But you had conversations about sex, but you didn't have a conversation about being married. Yet your body's telling you to do something, and the authoritarians in your life are telling you don't do it, but they're not telling you exactly why, except for the dangers that are out there. Men want what's in between your legs. Men want to do this. Men want to. It's just like, well, I want a man in between my legs. Well, there's a way to do this where you can get what you want and men can get what they want, and everything is legal by God and country. That conversation is not being had. I mean, just tell me, if any of you young ladies, when you were in middle school or high school, did your parents sit down and tell you how to be a wife? Did they have a conversation of, hey, when you found a boy that you liked, Did your mother sit down and tell you about boys and how to look for the right boy? They do that. This is why you have a lot of teenage pregnancies, because they hit maturation, but they don't know exactly how to be a wife. So they don't know how to look for a husband. They look for a man. They're not looking for a husband. If you teach these young ladies how to look for a husband, then you won't have an issue of teenage pregnancy and just a bunch of young girls running around here with, fatherless children. What you'll have is, young ladies being um, taught and being cultured, being properly instructed, keeping their hormones in balance, and then following the letter of the law. So when Mr. 25, 26 years old, if this is something that he wants to take on, he's like, this is how this is going to go. And when you do it by the letter, it's a beautiful thing. And some people are like, well, 16 is too young. Well, not every 16-year-old wants to do this, but it's happening. We have an epidemic on our hands. We have a bunch of children running around having babies, but nobody's having the talk. The females are not having the talk with other females. They're having talk about sex, but they're not having the marriage talk. Because people think you're indoctrinating a child to be married when the child doesn't have their life. Well, what do you think is going to happen when this child walks outside of your door and gets on the school bus? And then when it's time for her to get back on the school bus to come home, she doesn't. She dips off to somebody's house. What's happening now when your kid's coming home at 10 o'clock at night? You're wondering where your kid's been. Well, she's been out screwing like a rabbit. In every little nasty way she can figure out. That's what she's been doing. She's screwing. Now what? Yeah, they didn't have to talk. No, they did not. They said, "You're so smart. Go have the." Yeah. Like there's a young lady in the grocery store. I see her all the time. She's in high school. I'm like, "You're in high school, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "What do you guys work? 16 hours?" She was like, "We can work 18 hours." And she said, "Well, I know 18 hours of work isn't going to do nothing. Once I get older." I said, "Listen, let me tell you something. My rent has doubled within the last 5 years. I'm telling you that right now." She's like, "Well, I just been, living, just, living my life and, having a good time." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, you better cut that out. You better make a plan, because nobody's messing around when it comes to money. You're going to need money when you leave that house. You either better start a savings, get a stock, do something, because your little part-time money, that ain't gonna do nothing for you." She's like, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Listen, either get a good man or get your money up. Like, concentrate on something." And she's a good-looking, young lady. She could, what I'm saying? She needs to go to her mother and father and say, "Hey, listen, what's the plan?" Because when you kick me out, nobody cares. Nobody's going to care. You're on your own now. You put on your big girl panties. You're on your own. Nobody's going to coddle your feelings and no, get out. You don't have the rent. Get out. Get the F out, as a matter of fact. Get the hell out. Kicking you out on your ass. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is why your mothers need to have the talk. If that's the route you're going to go. If you're going to go, "I need a man and I want to start a family," that conversation should have been had when you were 12 years old. They used to send young girls to boarding schools. They used to send young girls to schools to learn how to be more cultural. They used to do that. Black people did that too. It wasn't only a white thing. Black people did that too. They sent you places so you could learn how to be feminine, more feminine. You could learn what a man wants. It made you more attractive. Once you came of age, the man would look at you and go, "You were in line with my program." So he would choose you and marry you. He wouldn't knock you off and send you home. He would marry you. You're a wife now, which means you're entitled to his assets. You're entitled to those assets now. It's now my lineage is your lineage now. We are a family now. Our families are connected. We're joined together. It was very, very important, even back in the days of the dowry. And listen, back in the days of the dowry, the father would go seek out an older man. And the man would go, "I'll take her on, but you sure she's going to have kids?" And he'd be like, "Yes, she'll have kids." And he would give the man goats or, whatever the exchange was, and he would marry the daughter. So I'm just saying, you women have not gone and had the talk. And because you haven't had the talk, or you haven't been to any of these schools that they tell you the importance of wearing a dress down below your knees. They tell you the importance of having a waist that's, they tell you the importance of your demeanor, of your smile, of your voice, of what you put on your face, of your natural hair. Natural. Your natural hair is more important than any wig you can ever wear. Your natural hair is a crown to a man. This is what the scripture says. A woman's hair is her glory. A woman is a man's glory. All of it glorifies the man. So when you walk outside in a pair of Spanx, you got your tatas all out. When you got a G-string on and you're on Instagram, you are listen, there are beautiful women on Instagram out there in G-string bathing suits. They're a complete waste. You're a complete waste. There are women on there shaking their ass. You're a complete waste. You're not good. You're not good for a husband. You're good for screwing. You're good for a man to jerk off to. Thanks for the, let me get my lotion. That's all you're good for. That's it. You're not good for investing. I'm not going to invest in you. You want to do the shake dance and all this other nonsense just to get validation. You're good for one thing, and that's it. You're not good for not one red cent. Not none. No investments in you. There's no stock in you. Because every man sees what you're doing. And as soon as somebody tries to wife you, the men are going to remember, we saw your whole ass on Instagram. So now we want some of it. And every man's going to try to, put a seed up in you. And the man who married you, now he has to deal with fending off all these other men because of what you did. But if your woman is walking around looking like Felicia Huxtable, dressed down to, what I'm saying, natural hair, natural beauty, just gorgeous to make a man break stride in a heartbeat, that man will come home to you. You want to talk about getting a man's 401k? Start walking around like that. And I don't mean one of these summer hoochie dresses. I mean one of them dresses like they wore back in the 40s and 50s. Just, ladies, just trust me on this. And listen, I know you got pants in your closet. It's part of your, you got your tight jeans. That's part of your. Just do me a favor, ladies. Just try this. Even if you're at college, because, college is hustle and bustle. You got to stand up, sit down a lot. You got to just do me a favor. And then, and let me know how it goes. Just try it. For a whole week, wear a dress down to your knees. Just for a whole week. Get yourself a nice, and they're cheap too. You can go to anywhere and get some of these dresses. Hey, Michelle Obama got her dresses out of Target. Okay? And then they sold out. All right? Just try it. I don't care if you live in the hood. I don't care where you're at. Just and close your ears to all negative whatever. And post it too. If you're going to post on Instagram, post yourself in a nice dress, and people are going to make all kind of negative comments. Where you going to church, blah, blah, blah? Don't pay them no mind. Just do it. And then listen to the men's reaction. And I'm talking about you ain't got to have your boobs out. Just a nice little boom right here. No cleavage. Your arms ain't got to be just, boom with the cut. Just do it. And if you have natural hair, just take off the weave and if you can. If you can get to your natural hair and, even if it's short, just try it and see what happens. And when you do that, you're going to end up getting rid of your pants. When you make a habit of dressing like this and then sprucing it up, and I don't, what I'm saying? I'm not trying to tell you to change your whole. I'm trying to tell you that you are more attractive when you're a ladylike than when you act like a man. If you want to wear pants, well, you're acting like a man. Because we can see your whole ass crack. There's no mystery. But when you have a dress on, we don't know what's up under there. And that's part of the mystique for us. Because no man knows what's up under that unless he's been there before. No man knows what's under there. But we want to know. But there should be a barrier to entry. It shouldn't be easy. There should be a protocol. There should be steps. And listen, I don't care if you've been a hoe before. We done all hoed up somewhere. I don't care if you was a hoe before. Just unhoe yourself for a week. Just do it. Just unhoe. I'm gonna just step out classy. I'm gonna cut out hoeing for a week. Just do it. See what happens. And it's gonna be kind of like, it's gonna be kind of like a diet. If it's good to you and you're getting results, you're gonna want to do it the next week. And then, you keep going, then it becomes part of your regimen. Next thing you know, you're not interested in wearing shorts anyway. I'm just trying to tell you. Even when you go to the gym, keep yourself covered. Don't go to the gym in TikTok pants. All up your ass crack so everybody can see. Nobody cares. You're not impressing nobody. And then doing leg exercises where you're bending that. What kind of man do you want? If you want guys to run a train on you, you're on the right track. No pun intended. You want guys to run a train. That's what's happening. That's what's happening when you go there and we can see your camel toe. We're mentally running a train on you. Oh, don't look at this guy was looking at me. Yeah, because you got your whole sexual organs being shown. Yeah, you damn right they're looking. And they'll pin you to a wall in the bathroom, and everybody will take look. I'm trying to tell you, that's how aggressive it is to us. Now it's not gonna happen, but this is what is on our mind. Like, what are you? Why are you advertising to everyone and then trying to act like you don't want us to look at you? Man, I can't stand. I can't stand it. It just you lucky I ain't young no more. Oh boy, man. I'm just saying, ladies, if you want our respect, you gotta put some effort into it. Get rid of all them damn earrings. Get rid of that nonsense. Bible says you shouldn't have it anyway. That lipstick you got on, like you ready to get on your knees in front of the next man you see, get rid of it. All this blush and whatnot that they tell you to put on your face that cost $1 million, get rid of it. Get rid of it. So what, you got spots? We all got spots. Throw a little Vaseline over it, and there it is. Get rid of it. You look. Most of you women got beautiful natural, facial features, beautiful natural lips. Get rid of it. You're overweight. If you're overweight, you better get with the body mass index and quit fighting every time a man tells you tighten up your game. Cut it out. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. If you're overweight and you know you're overweight, we don't want to hear no back talk. And why do we got to tell you? You should wake up, look in the mirror, and go, I need to work on this. And if there's a man in your life, to say, hey, I would like it if you help me work on this. That's the woman we want to be with. Because you recognize there's an issue. We don't have to tell you. And then we got to dance around it. Do you think I'm fat? Absolutely. I think you're fat as hell. And if you don't do something about it, I'm going to go date your friend. I think you're fatter than a yeah, you fat. Now get with the program or get lost. Why do we got to do that? No, you know you're fat. You know you have a terrible diet. But yet you want me to stay with you while you walking around the house and your stomach is, oh, cut out the crap. Cut it out. Stop eating, horrible stuff. And then trying to make an excuse for it at 22 years old. We don't want to hear it. No. You don't have a thyroid problem. You have a self-esteem issue. Here's a gym membership. Go hit Planet Fitness. We're tired of it. Do it. Shut up about it. Quit crying about everything we tell you that we need fixed. We need it fixed. We need it fixed. You don't want to fix it? We got to go. We're tired. I'm leaving. No, don't leave. No, I'm sick of you. I told you 10 times the same thing. Stop smoking. I come home, it smells like cigarettes. I'm done with that. I'm not telling you no more. You either stop smoking or I'm leaving. But okay, goodbye. Bye. I'm out. I got my own place. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. Stop popping pills or drinking lean or whatever stupidity. Stop going to the club. You and your goofy girlfriends. You want to be like them, they're going to be single forever. You're not single. You got a man in your life. Or either you want a man in your life. Cut it out. You're not going to find your husband at the club. Stop it. Stop coming in the house at 3 o'clock in the morning and expecting to be productive. You're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Cut it out. There's nothing at the club. You belong to God. Come out from among them. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's the same music. It's the same terrible music telling you to be a whore. It's the same terrible music. There's nothing there. Come out from among them. You belong to God. You're a child of the light. That's who you are. If you want to be a child of the night, keep going to those clubs. Keep it up. No, there was a story recently of these. I forgot what part of Africa it was, but they were, some good-looking women. There were three of them, and they were with a guy who obviously had money because they were driving in a Bentley. They took this Bentley to the club, and they were, had pictures of them in the back, and all their hair weaved down, and their makeup, and the outfits, and they were in the club, and they all looked good, and they were doing this. We're sitting in VIP thing like somebody gives a damn. They did this whole thing. They got up out of that club. They all jumped in the car, and they were driving. Boom, another car hits them. Boom, they hit a tree. All three of those girls in the back burned alive. By the time the people got to the car, they got the driver out the car, and he also died. They died the most horrible deaths. They couldn't get the girls out the car. The seatbelts locked them in, and that was it. They couldn't open the doors. The car was turned on its side. That was it. They couldn't do anything. And they watched those girls burn alive. In a fancy car, in their fancy clothes, going to a fancy club. Burned alive. Come out from among them. You don't belong there. The music that you're listening to is toxic and is not edifying nothing. All things are permissible, but not all things edify. Get out of there. All you're going to do is sleep with, people over and over and over again. Those same spirits are in your life. They're going to constantly be there lying to you. All you're going to do is fight with more and more women. You're going to be fighting the same women. You're not doing anything special except wasting your time. And you're just getting older. I'm just trying to tell you, ladies, I'm trying to give you, some free game. Because I lived it. I was a hoe. Shoot. I was running up in the clubs until the Lord said, come out of there. And I fought him. I'm like, I don't want to be by myself. I come up in here, I find a woman to sleep with, I can bust and be good. And it may sound vulgar, but it is what it is. I ain't want to be by myself. And there were beautiful girls in the club. Look at me. I'm an average dude. I'm not going to walk down the street and meet a beautiful woman. And it doesn't happen. I go to the club, boom. I see beautiful women I know I can sleep with. I'm trying to bust. It is what it is. My prime directive is to what? Be fruitful and multiply. God was like, get on up out of there. And once God tells you one thing one time too many, if you don't do it, you're going to go to the club and not come out. I got up out of there. I left. And I don't regret it. I remember the last club I've been to. I left. I don't regret it. I don't regret not looking at the women. I don't regret not dancing to the goofy music. I don't regret it. I rejoice that God spoke to me and got me up out of there. And I'm telling you, what he told me, get up out of there, come out from among them. So, and I'm telling you, young ladies, you're not special until you choose to be. You don't have the golden walls in between your legs. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn. They will toss you to the side like you're nothing. Listen to your parents if you got good parents. Quit fighting your parents. Talking about they're too strict. They love you. Listen to the people who love you. Quit being hard-headed. Cut it out. Quit laying down with these men. Cut it out. Everybody's horny. Hell, you don't listen. You don't stop being horny. Everybody's horny. Get it together. You don't, you're going to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself a cookbook. Watch the cooking shows. Some of y'all don't know how to cook a pancake. You don't know how to cook a damn, not one. You don't study cooking. You don't know the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. You don't know a damn thing. You don't know nothing. You know how to make hot pockets. You know how to order out. You know what Uber Eats is. Man, a man will leave you in a heartbeat. You keep ordering Uber Eats because you're spending his money. Learn how to make foods with high energy, like some lasagna. It packs a punch. Men need that. They're gonna come home. They're gonna be hungry. You know, you can make that for dinner and have some leftovers. Put it in for his lunch. That's what keeps him going. He needs to keep that engine running. I'm telling you because this is how my dad was. My dad wasn't married to my mother. He was married to another woman. But nonetheless, he was like, I need you to keep me going. You know, he helped raise her 5 kids. Unfortunately, when he got sick, those 5 kids were all grown. That wife left him. He died by himself. Yeah, that just happened this year. But I'm telling you, you know, a good pie of spaghetti. If you know how to make your own pizza, if you know how to make your own bread, like how many women in here know how to make bread? How many of you know how to make pasta? Like make pasta. You know how to do that? You know how to make a pie? You know how to make pies? You know what a rolling pin is? You know what I'm saying? So to make bread, get yourself a nice clean area on the counter. You know what I'm saying? Throw yourself some flour down. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have flour, then and over here you're gonna have your flour, then you have some eggs, then you have some yeast. You know what I'm saying? Eggs, yeast, and you might have a couple other things you might want to put in there. You mix it all up, you get it till it's gooey, you start rolling it, you throw it down on the flour, and you gotta knead it. Knead it, knead it, knead it. Then you take it once it fluffs up and you let it sit. Put a cover over it, you let it sit sometimes in the oven, but you don't turn the oven on. And you let it sit. You bring it out, boom, let it knead it again. Then you put whatever is on it, your little butter or whatever, boom, and you throw it in. 350 degrees. Boom, there you go. You bake it till it turns brown on top and it's finished. You got yourself some homemade bread. Y'all need to learn how to cook. How many of you women know how to cook? What's your favorite thing to cook? Yeah, it's almost like it's today's society. A dress is not fashionable unless it looks painted upon. Yeah, uh, Kalia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that wrong. Listen, Kalia. That's an interesting name for a black woman. That's an older name. That's a mature, older name. But anyway, so yes, wearing a dress tells a man that you have some type of respect and decorum. You have some type of reserve about you. It's attractive because, like I said, it's a mystery to us. We think we think that you act like a lady, and you could be a complete hood rat, and that might not be a bad thing. That might listen. Let me tell you something. I done dated some hood chicks. Have mercy. I done dated some hood chicks, and there's one chick I dated. She was beautiful for one, but for another, she would wear a dress. She'd pop on a dress, and I mean, Oh, it was bad. It was bad because she, boy, she pop on them dresses, man. It was bad for me. She's chocolate too. Oh, oh yeah. I'm just saying, put on a dress, ladies. Not no skin tight nonsense. Something Beyonce will wear. Turn off Beyonce too. Quit listening to that trashy ass music. Turn that. Turn off that trashy ass music. Beyonce been keeping y'all single. Beyonce was singing about single ladies while she was married. Then she said she's out now talking about church girls acting naughty, and then we getting effed up tonight. Like, you don't stop listening to that horrible music, your soul is being corrupted by it. And she don't care. She's not gonna stand in judgment while you talking to God. She's not gonna vouch for you. Stop listening to these people. Yeah, put a dress on. You know, put a little bow on the side of it, or a nice summer. Well, it's not summer, but just it's a nice little dress from Target. Something you can run around in, and throw your little Spanx. Y'all wear Spanx. Throw your little your little thigh tights or whatever up under there. Keep your legs warm so your ass doesn't freeze. I don't know what degree it is, but so you're comfortable. And especially if you're like a teacher or something, or you're in college and you're active and you got to do a lot of whatever you're doing, you're just an active woman. Because a dress can make you like you gotta put on some tights up under there, and you're good. That way, a good breeze hits you, you're not showing all your goodies. You're comfortable. You can run around, whatever. Because we all seen your tights before. But just wear a dress. It looks like you have some type of etiquette. And they'll fool around and get you married too. You stay with them dresses will get you married. I'm not playing. My broke ass will get my old broke ass, boy, if I found something I liked that wore a dress all the time, man, please. Please. I would go out here and increase my income in a heartbeat. Instead of once or twice at the gym, I'll be at the gym as much as possible. I'm trying to tell you, it would be nothing. It'd be nothing to come home and hand my woman a paycheck. Here, pay all the bills and hit the bed, because that's what my dad did. He'd come home, he'd lay down $1,000 in front of her. Bam! And this is 30 years ago. He had a job at Goodyear, and he had two paper routes. A grown man doing paper route, driving with his knee, tossing papers at 3 in the morning. Come home, get a little something to eat, shut his eyes for a few minutes, get back up, go to work. Yeah, but he'd come home and he'd throw that money down in front of his wife. Bam! What's good? And that's how it is when you got somebody at home who, is taking care. I'm just trying to tell you, ladies, listen, if you want to be the lily of the valley, especially at 20 years old, oh my God, like okay, so your hotness, I don't know what you look like, I don't care. But your hottest you're going to be for available males who are looking for marriage is right now. you are at your hottest in between now and 24. In between now and 24, between 20 and 24, you're at your hottest. And this is for men who are in your age bracket and all the way up to 60. And for those of you who think 60-year-old men don't marry 20-year-old women or women in their 20s, you need to go and look at Idris Elba. The man's in his 60s, his woman is 28 years old. It happens. You can say what you want, but he's an alpha male. He's got plenty of money. He's good looking. She's 28. She's 28. He's like 60. He's in great shape. You got nothing negative. Nothing. Oh, she's too young. Shut your mouth. She's going to be just fine. She did good. She got herself somebody who's in the top 1%. He's a millionaire. And he chose to have somebody who is, in her, prime. 28 years old, she's in her prime. So I'm saying, ladies, right now, I mean, the 20-year-old Miss Carlia, right now, you're at your hottest. Like, I know your mind is in your books, but if you plan on getting married, right now, you should be prepping for marriage. And I don't mean next week. I mean, when you wake up tomorrow, you should be looking online at websites on things that wives do. You should be studying it like you're studying whatever science you're studying. That way, you have a choice. Your career or marriage. You can go either way. You can go either way. But if the man comes along, you will not be in the dark on what to expect. You'll be prepared. You're like, okay, boom. And he might not have to come along. You might come along. You might get your gear so tight and your game so on point that you might roll up on somebody. Like, what's good? What up, homeboy? You know what I'm saying? You might roll up on a young man talking about some, hey, shoot. What you doing for the rest of your life? It's happening. It's happening. Listen, and it's happening with you or without you. You're either with it or you're not. That's it, and that's all. You're not with it? Have a seat over there. Go work for the rest of your life. Go ahead. Go ahead and work. Go ahead and work. Tell us how how that goes when you hit 50. When you get that little in your knee, a little can't hit them steps like you used to. Can't drop it low to the floor no more. Twerking with one leg, still think you got it. Go ahead. Tell us how that works out. Tell us how that works out. And when you get 60 and 70, nobody wants to visit you because they're not related to you. You hit 80 years old, you're in a nursing home, you get 0 visitors. Don't nobody know you. Nobody cares. Don't nobody come see you because you're a woman. Nobody cares. You're 80. You have no children. Nobody cares. Your choice. Go ahead and work. What are you going to do? You going to be a lawyer? Go ahead. Study law. Criminal law? What kind of law? Go ahead. Look at that lawyer. Well, I'll tell you, she's successful, ain't she? How much you make? 200,000? Oh, boy, I try to tell you, boy, you got a lot of money. You going on vacations everywhere? Whoa, look at you. You and your girls drinking mimosa. You got mimosa. And all that other nonsense. Now you're 30. You're 30 with your girlfriends drinking mimosas, taking cruises, going to the same destinations. Now you're 30. You're going to wake up the next day, you're going to be 35. Going to them OBGYN visits. Things don't look the same down there. Ask the doctor how many eggs you got left. He's going to be like, it's a shot in the dark. Then you want to talk about freezing them. It's expensive, but 40% that's going to work. Now you're 40. And you're looking like Lolo Jones. Lolo Jones complaining because she has a freezer eggs. Lolo Jones is a beautiful woman and was a track star. She claims she's a virgin. But here's the thing, Lolo. You could have been had a man. But you chose to shun every guy off who wanted something to do with you. And now I'm going to wait. Now you're 40 and you're crying about freezing. No, we don't want to hear it. Yeah, Carly, now you're 40. Now what? How's that career? Still working? Yeah, that's awesome. Making 300,000. Now you're running up on 55. Yeah, got that little thing in your back. The little Still going to the gym, think you got it. Looking at the 30-year-old men trying to get one. He'll blow your back out, but that's it. Not going to stay with you. Way up the next day, you're 75. You're 75. I'm dead and gone. But you know who's going to be in the back of your ear when you're thinking about it? You're going to remember this video, this conversation. He was right. He was right. I should have prepared myself for marriage. I don't want to be a baby mama. My career is not going to be there when I'm lonely. I should have bought a cookbook. I should have hung out with the wives instead of the hoes. There's a wives club somewhere around you. There is a wives club. I guarantee you that if you go online, you'll look, especially on Facebook, there is a wives club where it's just wives, happy, not miserable, trying to undermine their husbands. There's a wives club online. It's free information. You won't do it. Turn your ass up to whoever it is. Some young guy, strapping, good looking. You turn your ass up to him instead of turning him down. You waste your time with your emotions with him? He's probably knocking off a couple of your friends by now. You'll get another guy. You'll turn your ass up to him. Same thing. Cycle will continue until you get tired. It's your boy Tone 202. I'll be back with another video. One person is here. I think it's Miss Carlia. I enjoyed talking to you, and I wish you the mostesses. And, you know, I'm going to leave you my email. So if you want to, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it for you. Yeah, I think you got more. Here's what I think about you. Here's what I think. I think you're curious. And I think that, you know, you're probably in some type of relationship. And I think that you are in a state of changing something major in your life. That's what I think. I think that you're trying to win a battle that's going on up here somewhere. And you need to hear some positive reinforcement, even if it sounds a little, you know, abrasive. You need the raw facts. I think that you might have a background of people who've been telling you what you want to hear. And that's because they love you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not your dad. I'm not responsible for you. I have no connection to you. And I don't know you. So I'm going to tell you the truth. That's it. I'm going to tell you the raw, uncut. All the way down to, you know, the statistics of what's most likely going to happen if you do one thing or the other. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you whether you're going to get hit in your head or not. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you whether you're going to fall on your pretty face or not. And I'm going to laugh at you if you don't heed good wisdom, not only from, I'm talking about wisdom, period. I'm talking about biblical wisdom. I'm talking about older women wisdom. I'm talking about older men wisdom. I'm talking about just wisdom. If you don't heed it and you walk headlong into something and you crack your cranium, I'm going to laugh at you. And nobody likes being laughed at. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to get upset. And then you're going to go, ouch. And then you're going to go, I don't want to do that again. And that's how you're going to learn. You're going to ping pong your way right through this whole thing. And you're going to learn. But in the end results, when you got 3 fat children and a big head husband who loves your yesterday draws, you're going to be like, it was worth listening to wisdom. Because you're up against the clock. You're up against the clock, honey. And there's a new model rolling out of high school every year. There is a new 18-year-old, firm and fully packed, and she wants what you have. And she's going to cut you off at the knee to get it. I promise you she will. I saw a video where this 16-year-old was texting this woman's husband, and she wouldn't stop. And the wife was texting her back, telling her, stop texting my husband. But the little girl wouldn't stop doing it. These are black people. So the wife caught up to the little girl and beat her up on site. She just ran up on her and she said, I told you to leave my husband alone, and just started whooping her ass. And there were other girls that were around and they did nothing. There were adults, females, everybody standing there. They did nothing. Because they knew the deal. They knew the deal. They knew what the little girl was doing. There's a good chance they done did the same thing. And they knew the wife. They all lived in the same neighborhood. They knew the wife, they knew the husband. And as soon as the husband got a text from the little girl that was suspect, he was like, oh, hell no. He gave it to the wife. The wife looked at the phone. She was like, absolutely not. Who is this little girl? Knew who she was. And the wife took it from there. The husband had nothing to do with it. And she went, whooped the little girl's ass, and was talking to her and beating her ass at the same time. And after she got the ass whooping, she understood. Leave him alone. This little 10th grader was trying to bag the husband. There is a new model rolling out every year. It's a brand new pair of tits, a brand new smile, another fresh pair of ovaries rolling out every year. And you can say that sounds kind of crass, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And if you don't take advantage of what you have, your intelligence, the wisdom that's being bestowed on you, your physical attributes, your God-given blessings, if you don't take advantage of it, guess what's going to happen? Somebody else will. Somebody will come along, young and beautiful, and she ain't got to be from this country. See, you think your competition is your people you go to school with. Girls in the same dorm as you. All those girls running around there, you're like, this is my competition. They're not even close to being your competition. They're your competition if you're fighting for some little boy that's running around on campus throwing up, Greek signs and all that stupidity. Yeah, they're your competition. But they're not your competition when it comes to a husband. They're just your competition if you want to get screwed that night by one of these little goofies running around with a cane or something. Yeah, you can compete for that if that's what you want to do. But if you want to be a wife, that's not your competition. Their frame of mind is not like yours. The wisdom that you're seeking, they're not seeking that. They're not studying how to love someone. They're not studying that. That's not what they're doing. That's what you're doing. You're taking etiquette classes. You're looking at wives clubs, and you're, asking these wives about what's the best and the worst about being married. How did you find your husband? How can you're hanging out, even on the internet, with wives. They're hanging out with a bunch of girls. That's not your competition. You're on a whole different level than they are. They're thinking about what career they're going to fall into. You're thinking about whose arms you're going to fall into. That's a whole different art. There's more moving parts in what you're trying to do than what they're trying to do. It's harder to do what you're trying to do than what they're trying to do. Let them chase the little goofy boys. So what? Chase them. Who cares what Greek letters they have on how they can throw a basketball in a hoop? The chances of you getting somebody who's going to go to the NBA or the NFL is slim and none. And the chances of him keeping you is even slimmer. You're not going to keep that guy. Just being real with you. You're concentrating on a husband. You're looking at statistics of husbands. You're looking at a geographical area that you want to settle in. You're studying it. How many men live in this state? How many men live in this state that are black? How many men live in this state, in this part of the state, that have a career that's, maybe aligned with my career? How many men in this state make this much money? You listen, you should be writing down your expectancies from height to color to, you should be writing down your expectancy, and then writing, you should have a, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are my first choices. It's a good chance you're never going to get that. But you have what you'll settle for. And it's not really settling. Sometimes it's who's settling for you. Because I know you probably think you're the bee's knees. Well, guess what? You go to Atlanta, you're average. I know people have been telling you, you're beautiful. Go to LA. I'm just saying, when you're standing next to women who are 6'2", and they look like Sierra, and it's common, I mean, just try to drink that in. And I'm talking about a young Sierra, a Sierra at 20 years old, a Beyonce at 20 years old. Just drink that in. And they're looking for husbands. Just imagine trying to battle with that. It messes with you like, ooh, damn. I'm just saying, you're probably, as beautiful as the day is long, but I mean, how beautiful are you? How pretty are you? And then what are you going to do with it? What are you doing? Oh, I'm pretty. Well, are you naturally pretty? Or do you have to have, yeah. Here, there's always somebody more beautiful. But it is like, like, how pretty are you? Like, are you naturally pretty? Do you want a man who wants a naturally pretty? Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You study yourself and then study the man you want. And it just gives you a better chance instead of you just going, I'm just going to put myself out there on Bumble and see what happens. And when you do that, you get a lot of responses, but most of those guys just want to, they're not looking to marry you. But if you prepare yourself for this, then you're not going to be 35 on Bumble. But you have to do it now. You can't wait till next week. You got to go now. Your situation is right now. And truthfully, I mean, I don't, like, if I was a school teacher, if I was a high school teacher, this is what I would be telling these, high school girls. You know what I'm saying? High school starts at what, 16? I don't know what age it starts at, but I would be telling these, if I was a humanities teacher or something, I'd be telling these young girls, listen, if you're not preparing yourself for a husband, about time you get 23, 24 years old, you're not going to make the transition. It's not going to happen for you. And that's hard to tell a 23-year-old she's not going to ever be married. But it's the simple fact that there's so many women on this planet that are vying for so few men. And here's the thing. Men are leaving this planet at an alarming rate. Why? Because of war profiteering. Because of fentanyl. Because of violence with your neighbors. Men are more violent than women. Men are more drug users than women. Car crashes, men drive faster than women. War, there are more men at war than there are women. So the deficit every second of the day is still doing this. There are less and less, listen, there'll be less men tomorrow to choose from than there is today. And those are the facts. And it's by the thousands. The thousands. It's scary. But when you're young and you're in your own bubble, you don't know these things until you finally put your head out, and try to see what's out there. Then you realize, well, damn, how am I competing with a 48-year-old woman for a 24-year-old man? Why? Because, she had her head, in the clouds and in her own world when she was your age. And she wasn't told how to be a wife. So she, when she got into, her stride of her career, or when she started having children, she never married any of the guys she had children with. And now she's lonely. She's 48, she's lonely. And she's still got a nice little body, but a 24-year-old is just going to knock her off. She'll give him a PlayStation or whatever. She'll buy him some shoes, but he'll never marry her. I knew a guy he was in his young 20s, and the woman was in her 30s. She was like 36. She was an asbestos lawyer. She made a lot of money through the government. And I used to work with his sister. And basically, what happened was he married her, even though he's younger than her, and he was a stay-at-home husband. I mean, he could work if he wanted to, but the thing is, she married him so he can watch her house and her assets and take care of things while she was out making money. And he was lonely because she was gone all the time. And he said, look, I married you because I love you. I don't want to just be here by myself. She was like, well, this is what it is. I'm not going to change. She chose her career over her husband and he divorced her. In that conversation, he left her. He says, well, I'm not doing this anymore. And he left her. And he walked away with a good chunk of change. But the thing about it was never about the money for him. He loved that older woman, but she was like, I love my career. I choose my career over you. There are women who are choosing their career. And I'm telling you that you can have a career all you want. But if you don't want to end up lonely, your career better involve a husband. And I don't care if he's 5'5". I don't know how tall you are. I don't care about none of your statistics. I don't care if he's 5, whatever. He's got a little dick. I don't care. He makes $40,000 a year. I don't give a damn. If that man loves you, you work it out. You work that out. You work it out. You work it out on every angle. Every angle, you make it work. You may come home and not be happy, but you're going to come home and be loved. You're going to come home to somebody who will let somebody mess with you. Let somebody pull up at the house talking crazy and see if he don't come out the door waving a 4-4. Let one of your tires get blown out on the highway and see if he don't jump in that pickup and be right out there. Right out there. Like, I'll be right there. Clock out early. I got to go. My wife is... I'll be right there. Ha! I'll be right there. That's what you want. That's what you want. Trust me. I don't know if you like changing tires. You ever change a tire? You ever change your own tire? Huh? Yeah. Try it in the middle of the winter. Yeah, try to change the tire in the middle of the winter on a busy highway. You want to talk about some scary stuff? It is scary. Yeah, you don't want no part of that. You don't want none of that. Let somebody roll up to your house talking crazy. And you have to defend for yourself. I don't know if you can fight. I don't know if you got a gun. I don't know none of that. You probably know how to throw them bows. But you don't have to. Yeah, you go out there and get some, you can get bruised and scraped up if you want to. You fight him. Listen, I don't know if you can, if you're strong enough to fight a man. You ever fought a man? Like all out? Like the man fought you like a man? Ever done that? A whole ass man fought you like a man. You ever done that? Ain't no picnic. Because when a man fights another man, we fight until the man can't fight anymore. It's different for us. We try to incapacitate you. Have you ever been incapacitated before? Because this is what you have to look forward to. And I'm not joking. You get into it with a man and he slaps the taste buds out of your mouth, your whole reaction is going to be, okay, well, let me throw them things. Soon as you do, he's going to fight you like a man. And you're like, men shouldn't be hitting women. That's not the point. You women said you're as strong as a man. You women said women are better than men. You women said women can do anything a man can do. That's what you women said. Y'all said this. Y'all can do anything and y'all can do it better. I can do anything and I can do it better, whatever that stupid commercial is. Okay. Now when you get into an argument with a man and he's standing there spitting in your face, dare you to say something out your mouth you don't like, this is what men go through. And when he checks you with a right hook, and blam! When he catches you with that left uppercut, hey, this is what men go through. When he gets on top of you and he beats your face into the ground, this is what men go through. That's how men fight. We don't pull hair and all this other. No, we try to break a man's face. We try to knock him out. Because a man is still a threat as long as he's conscious. That's how men fight. Now, you want to take that on by yourself? Be my guest. But as a man who's been in fights before, it is no picnic. And you can lose your life. How many women do you know have gotten to a fight on a one-on-one and ended another woman's life just with their hands? It's not very common. For men, it's very common. This is why a lot of times you see men don't want to fight. They'll sit up there and jaw jack and they'll argue amongst each other. They'll even get in each other's face, but they won't throw a blow because they know the damage that they can do to another man. And if they do it, the survivor is going to go to jail and the other guy might not wake up. Because we're thinking, if we got to fight you, we're going to beat you onto another dimension. We're going to beat you down. This is what we're thinking. This is how we're genetically made. We're going to have to destroy you to where you can't get up and be a threat. You ever fought a man like that? Most women haven't. Because even though you're a woman, we still know you're a woman. So most of the time, if a man hits you, he may slap you, but the fight's over. Even if he's, beating a woman's ass, we've seen this plenty of times, you usually don't see a man beat a woman to unconsciousness. But you see that same man beat a man till he's unconscious. And sometimes beyond that. This is not what you want. That's not what you want. Prepare yourself for a husband. Wake up tomorrow, put on a dress. Get yourself a nice pair of flats. Stop putting that goofy nail polish on. Take that stuff off. Just have your nails just nice and clean. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that makeup. Throw it away. Well, I need my blush and eyeshadow. No, you don't. You don't need none of it. I need my foundation. You don't need foundation. You already have it. I need my rouge and all this. No, you don't. You look like a white woman. You're not a white woman. You don't need none of that. Get rid of them goofy earrings and you got holes in your head. Get rid of it. But I've had an earring in since I was a child. I don't care. Get rid of it. It's ungodly. Has nothing to do with God. Get rid of it. I gotta have my wig. Get rid of it. You have horse's hair on top of your hair. Well, I ain't get my hair done. Well, learn how to do your hair. Do it tomorrow. I paid $200 for this yaki. You wasted your money. Get rid of it. You look silly. Get rid of that wig. Throw it away. Or sell it. Give it to Goodwill. Give it to burn victims. But get rid of it. Learn how to wear your natural hair and quit perming your natural hair to where it looks straight. It's not natural. You have nappy hair. Learn how to work your nappy hair. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Not one damn thing. Quit wearing them goofy eyelashes. Where your damn lashes are way out here. You know why that was created? Where your lashes are way out here? It was created by French prostitutes. So they wouldn't get cum in their eyes. That's what it's for. It's for French prostitutes created that. You look like a French prostitute. Run around with your eyelashes way out here. That's what you look like, a prostitute. Because that's who made it. Get rid of it. All of it. Rid all of it. All the extra jewelry around your wrist, get rid of it. Get a nice little watch? Okay, fine. Keep your watch. All that goofy stuff around your neck, get rid of it. Get rid of all of it. It's not natural. It's not becoming, and you look stupid. All them goofy videos where women are running around with BBLs and whatnot, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch some stupid videos. Half the stuff on Netflix you can't watch. BET you can't watch. It's acidic. It's demoralizing. You wake up in the morning and you turn on Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Tell me which one of them are encouraging you to be married. And that's what I'm saying. If you're not learning, educate me on what singer is telling you about, finding a good husband. I'm just curious. Because Cardi B is bumping coochies with Megan Thee Stallion. And if that's what you're into, okay, fine. You want to bump coochies? Go bump coochies. I'm done with you. I'm done. We got nothing to talk about. You want to bump coochies? Two coochies cannot have a child. You want to bump coochies, go. You want to watch these goofy award show where they award that type of nonsense? You go watch. I'm done. I'm not talking to somebody. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting time talking to somebody who wants to watch two women kissing and bumping coochies. Because they can't have children. It's not productive. It's not edifying. You're wasting. You wake up listening to Chris Brown talk about, these hoes ain't loyal. Trey Songz and all his, chorus ways. I don't. You're wasting time. All this music that's toxic and not telling you one way to how to be a good wife, not one. You want to know who used to sing about stuff like that? Anita Baker. She made her whole album just about talking about her being married. My story ends like stories do. Reality comes into view. No longer living life in paradise. Yeah, listen to Alita Adams. Circle of one, no longer, what is it? I'm no longer uh, the circle of one. Just listen to her. She's talking about being married. You can reach me by railway. You can reach me by. She's talking about being with her man. Gladys Knight and the Pips. I'd rather be in his world than without him in mine. On the midnight train to Georgia, leaving on it. She was talking about leaving her life behind to go be with her man. I'm with you. I'm coming with you. I want to be with you. I'd rather be in your world than be without you in mine. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be alone. I'm rolling with you. These women were all singing about being with their husbands. All of them. If you're going to listen to women singing, you don't need to listen to Face Bomb, Ass Tight. You know, me and my friends are going to screw on your man. No, you're not. Cardi B, you're married. Megan Thee Stallion has a boyfriend and a degree. These women aren't hoes. They're just telling you how to be a hoe. Beyonce been married. All the single ladies, you was married when you made that. Church girl acting Maddie, cut it out. You're not a church girl acting Maddie. All these women are pre-programmed by the Jewish people because they run the music industry. And they constantly tell these women, put out this trash so your women cannot find husbands. It was all orchestrated so the man will leave the woman alone and then they can come and do whatever they want to the woman. They take the woman's children. They can manipulate the woman, get the woman to hate the man. That's what it was all for. And it worked. It worked. This is why you don't hear positive reinforcement music anymore. Tribe Called Quest. You know, anybody who's talking positive out there, they want to quiet them. Andrew Tate, they want to quiet him. Why? Because he's talking positive, like, cut the BS. Kevin Samuels, they got rid of him. Gone. There's a few other people. They're getting rid of these men who are trying to bring these women back into the fold. Get rid of them. So I'm just trying to tell you. If you want to be, out there having flings with strangers for the rest of your life, then that's what you want to do. But if you want to be praying with your husband when, the fits hits the shan, you know what I'm saying? You can argue with him too, but if you at least have somebody to pray with. When the lights go out, you listen. You can be upset at your husband, but you still got somebody who loves you. You may not like the way he's doing something, but damn it, he still loves you. Because you're going to have your little internal spats over something stupid, but nobody's coming to the door bringing the issue without him bringing the issue back. Nobody. Not the mailman, not the principal, not the neighbor, not the porch thieves. None of that. Because having a woman at home makes us man up. This is for good men because you have to protect him. And I don't care if he's knee high to a butterfly. He's still got a trigger finger. I was dating this one older woman. Very nice though. She heard something outside. She reached into her, her drawer and grabbed the tray 8. It's like, I'm going to see what's outside. I was like, am I not a whole man? Am I not, 250 pounds at the time, 6'2", athletic? What do you think? I can't fight? She was like, no, but I was like, listen, why don't you let me go and investigate? And if I call for you in your tray 8, then you come down here and you shoot the, crap out of somebody. She's like, okay, fine. Turns out it was a raccoon. You guys have a good evening. God loves you, and so do I.